As a woman, I really enjoy that fact about myself because I'm a mother, a wife, a daughter, a sister. Yes, I'm an actor, and yes, I have survived cancer so far. Fingers crossed. All good energy to it, and yeah, and I really do hope that I can add things to this label and do lots more in the years that I have ahead, because if I've survived it, then there has to be a purpose to it. We are in a day and age where information is available at your fingertips, and there's really not much that you can, I wouldn't know if you would call it hide, but I just makes it sound very negative. And I really didn't want any negativity around me. I didn't want any gossip around it, and I didn't want speculation about it. Also, because my son was 12 at that point of time, and kids today would be getting the messages and will be on internet, and didn't want him to read something negative and bad. I mean, what was happening was strange and scary enough, and I didn't want to add to that. I didn't want my mom-in-law, my mother, my father to get some strange WhatsApp messages and kind of get frightened about it. So the idea was to put out what is happening by yourself, so that there's no speculation around it. I thought I would just do that one post and move on, get on with the treatment. But the response I got was kind of an eye-opener, and I realized that so many people were going through it, and it was, all strata of society, everybody was going. There were so many people who were going through it, and they were hiding it. They were not talking about it, and they were just opening out on my timeline and sending me messages. And I said, just for this, I need to put out a picture. I didn't want it to be something where obviously the treatment is hard, and there are very hard days, and there are very, very, very hard days. But I just wanted to be hopeful all the time, and I wanted to use everything that I put out to be hopeful, because I never wanted to let go of that hope. And so, though I never lied about what I was going through, but I really didn't want those really sad pictures with tubes sticking into you and stuff like that. I kind of have a bit of advantage over it, because I was going through a sort of a quarantine before, and it's just got extended. So yes, in that sense, while I was out of the country, it was a kind of a quarantine. When I came back, because the immunity was so low, so you were anyway meeting less people and keeping the social distancing and stuff like that. So just when I had actually started stepping out and doing a couple of things, this has happened, and we have this pandemic running rampant across the world, and we are back at home. So in that sense, certain bit of advantage in the sense of we're used to it, but it's different from before, because I at least had a couple of people coming and going and visiting. I had friends around with me, and now it's just us in the family. I'm technologically challenged, but thank God for technology. I mean, the same situation, if we didn't have the tech we have now, what would we be doing? I mean, today, I was low. I was excited, eventually picked myself up, got myself ready. I said, I'm going to have a conversation with Nonita. I'm going to see her after so long. I mean, it's so great. I mean, definitely it's not the touch, but still it's human contact. And I was really, this has been my highlight today, and it's going to pick me up today and going to get me through. It got me through the low of the morning, and I'm already feeling so much better, having a conversation. And same thing with friends. There are so many of these various apps, and you get together and we have our coffee together, and sometimes we have our meals together, and it's like, lunch together and a dinner together and stuff like that. When you go through cancer treatment, and when your immunity is literally zero, especially when you go through your chemo and there is no immunity and your body is defenseless in that sense, and at that point, to never get an infection and to survive without having got an infection or needing to take antibiotics, I thought was a major achievement. And this is what I was doing through it. And I thought that kind of built my immunity and helped me survive, and hence recover faster. So you put the greens, you put the spinach or whatever, you put the greens in, you put the berries in, which are antioxidants, and you put some fruit in, and vegetables. So it can be a carrot or a doodie. So you do a bit of fruit, veggie, green. I do a mix of everything. I don't do a fruit separately and a veggie separately. It's just too complicated. So I just put everything in together, and I add ginger, I add turmeric, I add a bit of amla, I add a bit of cinnamon, and a little bit of dates to kind of, just get the taste. So when I came back last year, and the first thing that I did was I taught Ice to walk on the treadmill. And so the idea behind it is that, you can find a way to anything. I didn't want her to miss her long walks, especially on the beach. But when she would come back, and then she wouldn't be able to come close to me because my immunity was really low. So the idea was to give her the exercise and keep her next to me. And it was a bit selfish, but she's go back onto the beach now. Again, in quarantine now, no, it's not possible, but she was getting back to it. So that's how it started. So there are different situations and we just need to adapt to it. For me, when I came back, body was I think I was like a 90-year-old. I didn't want to come out in a wheelchair, so I walked out. But I was literally, Goldie was holding me, or I literally was. It was very difficult to walk. So from there to being able to do various things, exercise, physiotherapy has been a huge thing in my life. In that sense, you just have to be consistent and you have to just keep doing it. So in this lockdown, what I did was that there's something that I've always been wanting to try out, and I always said one day. So I'm using this time to teach myself yoga, and I have started the practice of Ashtanga yoga, and I'm really enjoying it. I started with a 15-20 minute practice, and I think I've gone to an hour-long practice now. Recovery would be hard, and then you couldn't go through the rest of the day, but now we are at home. And the idea was to be so exhausted mentally and physically and to try something new. So you had more than enough time to recover. So I thought this was the perfect time to try something which was a little more challenging. And, I think it's been a month of being in, I don't think I've stepped out of my house since the 8th of March. And it's been great because slowly I've built up the practice from 15-20 minutes to an hour. I'm far away from achieving which I would like to be, but every day you can see little more progress, and that's so beautiful. We have no choice. We have to make the changes. And the first thing about recovery is to accept. If you're not going to accept what you're going through, how are you going to recover and move on from there? So we have to accept the fact that the world has changed. And it is going to change. It has changed, and it is going to be a new normal. And my new normal, I thought, would be a little different. I have to adapt a little more to this new normal. Even more social distancing. I think we are going to find new ways to meet up with people we love, and probably the way we work is going to change. Especially for me, I think it's going to be it's very interesting. I feel like going back to work. I really struggled with meditation, and but there is no shortcut to it, and that is something that helped me through my stress. There is no two ways about it. But what I found was that there are so many ways and so many people telling you what meditation is. I just asked myself, but are they really correct about it? How do they know what it is? So we just need to look into ourselves and find our way of meditating. And I feel everybody's way is going to be different. And the point is to not try to follow a path, but to just sit down with yourself and find your own path. When you have certain discipline, then you'll do certain things on a regular basis, because anything that is healing and restores health has to be done constantly. There is no shortcut, and it has to be done continuously. So you need the discipline to keep at it. The green smoothie might not be the most tastiest thing, but just finish it. So rather than having 2-3 of them, just finish it in that one go. Have it in the morning, start your day with it, and you know what you need for the day has gone into your system, and then move on. Also, I thought that this was an amazing time to understand how little we actually need. That though I went through what I went through, this period when I'm at home, I must have taken out a shirt and gotten out of a t-shirt after and track pants after so long. So how little we actually need has been underlined, and I think that is also declutter. But I also find that one of the biggest things that I find which de-stresses me is the joy of giving. and it can be in any way. It can be just picking up somebody who is feeling a bit low, just making somebody, just having a great conversation, just getting somebody to smile. It could be my assistant, it could be the help at home, just the joy of giving.